Okay, we're going to go over a couple of rounding decimal examples here. And the problem will look something similar to these up here on the board, where I give you a number and I underline a place value and I ask you to round to the underlined place value. So if we look at the first example here, we see that the underlined place value is where the 4 is. Okay, the decimal back. So same as with rounding whole numbers. Okay, we're going to look to the place value to the right, and if it is 5 or greater, we round that number up. So it is 5, so we're going to round the 4 up to 5. Everything after it becomes a 0. Well, we know that 5.0000 is really just the number 5, okay? So 4.560 rounded to the ones would just be 5, okay? If we look at this next one here, I ask you to round to the underlined place value, which is the 6, which is actually the 10,000th spot, okay? So I'm looking at the 6, and I'm looking at the number to the right of the 6, which is 8. That is bigger than 5. So I'm going to round the 6 up, keeping everything to the left of it the same. And I'm going to round the 6 up to a 7. And my 8 becomes a 0. Now, we talked about this in class, but this 0 is not really necessary. Any zeros that follow numbers, if I could write as many zeros as I want here, that's not going to change the value of this decimal right here. So whether or not you include the 0 or not doesn't make a difference. You could not include it or you could include it. It doesn't matter. So, but our answer is 83.0357. Like I said, if you want to include the 0, great. If not, that is fine as well. My next example here, I have 0.923. I'm going to look at my 2, which is in the hundredths spot. I'm going to look to the number to the right of it. It is not bigger than 5, greater than or equal than 5. It is 3. So my number pretty much stays the same, only I drop that 3. Okay, I do not include the 3. In fact, if you want to make it a 0, you can do that as well. It will not change the value of the decimal. But our final answer is 92 hundredths. And then the final one here is a little trickier. We have 1.956 or 1 and 956 thousandths, and we're asked to round to the tenths. Well, we have an interesting situation here because the 9 is in the tenths, and the number, the place value to the right of it is 5 or bigger. So I'm going to round this up, and this is what happens. My 9, if I round it up, becomes a 10. Okay, so think of it this way. Think of putting the 0 here and carrying the 1 for 10. This now becomes 2.0, and everything after the decimal becomes zeros. Okay, so 1.956 rounded to the tenths spot becomes simply 2.0, or, like we said earlier, just 2.